Welcome to Colonel Basketball Weekly, as we take an inside look at Nicholls State University hoops. Today's program is presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, the official sports medicine provider of Nicholls Athletics. Colonel Basketball Weekly is also sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. Welcome to the season finale of Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. I'm your host, Mike Wagenheim. Riding consecutive wins for just the second time this season, the Nicholls men's basketball team looked to secure favored seeding at the Southland Conference Tournament as they concluded the regular season at Southeastern Louisiana back on Saturday, March 7th. A young squad with no seniors and 7 newcomers, the Colonels look to be peaking at the right time heading to Hammond after putting together 2 of their best offensive performances of the year earlier in the week. Southeastern, meanwhile, had endured 4 straight losses, but they picked up a win in Thibodaux back in mid-February. Marquise Nelson, the Colonels' 4th-string point guard, getting another shot due to all the team's injuries. He's come through. The early bonus ball puts Nicholls up 5-0. SLU's Anochi Ochi put together 10 rebounds and 7 points, including this hard-fought bucket. Both teams shot around 45% from the field. Nicholls gets 14 points from Amin Torres. The steal and the lay-in coming up here, putting the Colonels up by 1 at the 8-minute mark. Neither team led by more than 5 all half. Cedric Jenkins racked up a career-high 24 points for the Lions, the 15-footer here, giving the lead back to Southeastern. Jenkins also hitting 4 threes on the afternoon. Luka Camber going 3 of 4 beyond the arc for Nicholls. The Red and Gray went 8 of 18 from downtown. They really found an offensive flow over the final week, averaging almost 20 points more than their season average. They're up 1 at the half. Jadante Fry with a pretty finish here, scored 21, later named the Southland's Player of the Week. Nicholls starts to build an advantage. Sam McBeth strokes the 3 from the top of the key. McBeth with 11 points, 7 boards. The lead is out to 8 with 16 minutes to go. Then McBeth and Fry hook up. The Fry flush, and the Colonel's edge would never slip under 4 the rest of the way. They'd stretch it to double digits at the midway mark of the second on the Travis Julian tip-in. Then a nice TJ Carpenter reverse layup coming up. That ups the lead to a dozen. Carpenter scored 9 points and finished the year as the team's leader in points per game. Hot shooting by the Lions prevented the Colonels from completely shutting the door, but Nicholls continued to match SLU hoop for hoop. Nicholls goes on to win 75-69, finishing the regular season with 3 straight wins. The 4th consecutive game, they scored more points and shot for a higher percentage than their season averages. Devontae Upson led SLU in defeat with a double-double. So let's take a look at the Southland Conference men's basketball standings at the conclusion of the regular season. Stephen F. Austin took home another league title, knocking off second-place Sam Houston State on the final day. Northwestern State and Corpus Christi each claimed a first-round bye in the Southland tournament. Nicholls finished up 6th among all postseason eligible teams. They'd be joined in the first round of the tournament by McNeese, New Orleans, and Southeastern. So the Colonels entered the Southland tournament as the number 6 seed and would face the 7 seed New Orleans on Wednesday night. Nicholls had swept the regular season series from the Privateers, who would be making their first ever SLC tourney appearance. Nicholls was going, meanwhile, for the 7th straight year. Out to the Merrill Center in Katy, Texas, the Colonels came out sloppy early, committing 7 turnovers in the first 10 minutes, and the Privateers would take full advantage. Nate Fry with a steal and the assist on the Christavius Gill bucket. Nicholls fell behind by a half dozen about 7 minutes in. The Colonels tightened up play over the remainder of the half, committing just 2 turnovers and heating up offensively. With 9 minutes remaining, Luka Camber drilled a 3-pointer to pull Nicholls within a point. That 3-point barrage wasn't over as Amin Torres nailed his shot, and Camber added another a moment later to give Nicholls its first lead since the opening minutes at 23-21. Traven Thibodaux registered a number of dunks for UNO, accounting for the bulk of his 15 points. Ball game tied at 25. The Colonels shot 61% from the field in the first half, including a ridiculous 8 of 10 from downtown. Camber strikes again here. Luka hit 5 threes, scoring a career-high tying 16 points off the bench. Colonels up by 3 at the half. But Nicholls got careless again in the first 10 minutes of the second, committing 8 turnovers and quickly ceding their lead. Gill with the fast break down the floor. Kevin Brown finishes. Brown with a career-high 24 points on 8 of 12 shooting. Brown continued to be a thorn in the side of Nichols, hitting a three-point basket at the 11:41 mark to give New Orleans a 6-point advantage. The steal and the assist by Kevin Broyles. Nichols unable to overcome 21 turnovers. Camber answered with a fifth free ball here. As bad as Nichols played, they were in this thing for a long time. Under 4 minutes to play, down by 5, and Amin Torres hits the turnaround bonus ball. The Colonel bench contributed 38 points, including a team-high 17 by Torres. Inside of 2 minutes, Nichols with a chance to tie, but Thibodaux swats away TJ Carpenter's attempt. Still, this was a one-point game with 1:19 left. But Broyles here with a drive, finish, and foul. UNO would make their free throws and end the Colonel's season. 82-73 the final. Sam McBeth with a double-double for the Red and Gray, his 5th of the year, as Nichols closes out the season with a 10-19 mark. By the time the year was over, the Colonels had 6 scholarship players out with injuries. UNO, meanwhile, fell in the next round, barely, to Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Earlier this week, we got a chance to chat with one of the Colonel's surprise standouts this year, sophomore forward Jadante Fry, as we look back on the season and what's to come next year.
We didn't end the way we wanted to. We lost the first round, to a team that we beat twice. But throughout the whole season, we had many adversities that we had to overcome, ups and downs. But toward the end of the season, I think we really picked it up. We won a 3-game winning streak. So it didn't end the way we wanted to, but we're just looking forward to having a strong season next year.
You mentioned all the trials and tribulations throughout the year, and yet you managed to win your final 3 games in the regular season. Does that give you a little bit of a mental momentum going into the offseason?
Yeah, of course it did. It just shows that whenever we can, we will come together and just play hard. And, toward the end, we started gelling more, guys started making plays, and so it showed improvement that we improved throughout the year.
And we saw a number of individual improvements as well, including yourself. You went from a role player to one of the stars, if not the star, on the team this season. Talk a little bit about your personal development.
I just work hard every day to work on my game. I can't do it without my teammates, so I give them all the credit. I just accepted the role. I didn't expect to come in this year starting and be a star player or anything like that. I just did whatever I need to do to help my team win.
What's next for this club? Where do you guys need to improve to reach a level of success next year?
Just play tough, play together, and just develop a chemistry earlier into the season so we can, toward the end of the season, we be a well-developed team so that we can make a better run. All
right, Jadante, we look forward to these next couple of years with you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Jadante Fry joining us here. Folks, we're going to take a timeout. We'll bring it back with more Colonel Basketball Weekly presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional right after this.
In sports, you strive for first or best. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional is both. The region's first comprehensive sports medicine program with a team of the best sports medicine trained experts. You're serious about the game, we're serious about your safety. With advanced concussion testing technology and certified athletic trainers, we're keeping athletes safely in the game. Play hard, play to win. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional will help you play it safe.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for.
At People's Health, we know that when it comes to health, what works is teamwork. Each People's Health Plan member has a team of talented professionals working together to coordinate care so our members can do what they love to do.
That's what we do. We're here for you with People's Health.
People's Health, your Medicare health team.
Welcome back to Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. With 1 game remaining on the regular season schedule, the Nichols women's basketball team was looking to secure the number 3 seed in the Southland Conference tournament, stretch their program record number of conference wins to 13, and complete a regular season sweep of their rivals as the Colonels headed to Hammond to face Southeastern Louisiana back on Saturday, March 7th. Let's take you to the University Center. Elizabeth Stiles, who leads the Southland in assists, had 6 in this one to go with a game-high 21 points, including this bucket in the opening minute. Southeastern looking to send their seniors out on a high note by snapping their 9-game losing streak. This game saw 15 lead changes. The Colonels go up at the 16-minute mark. Tia Charles drives and dishes to Marina Lilly. Colonels finished with a season-high 19 assists, 8 of them by Charles. Lilly had 8 points, 7 boards, 3 helpers. Charles had a terrific freshman year. Akaya Gray, solid 2. Tough bucket here after Nichols falls behind by 5. Gray scored 11 on 5 of 7 shooting. SLU goes on a 7-0 run, but the Southland's leading three-point shooter, Jenny Nash, fires back. Charles sets her up. Nash with a double-double, 15 points, 12 boards. Still, Nichols down by as many as 11, but the Colonels received 2 buckets each from Lilly and Jovana Mandic to outscore SLU 10-3 to close the half. Lilly with a jumper there. Colonels down 4 at the break. Second half, Nash here sending it across to Hope Pulowski for the 3 to pull Colonels within a point with 19 minutes to go. Less than a minute later, Pulowski would return the favor, and Nash hits the step-back 3 to put Nichols out in front, 36-34. Nash, by the way, named All-Southland's second team after this game. Back and forth we go. Adrena Laverne scored 10 off the pine for Southeastern. The 3-ball pushes the Lady Lions back on top. Second half alone saw 9 lead changes and 7 ties. Tia Charles, all-conference honorable mention, connects from downtown. Nichols ahead, 39-37. Charles scored 9 points, registered 6 boards to go with those 8 assists. Akaya Gray ties it up at 61 here. Moments later, Nash hit her 3rd three-pointer of the game to give Nichols the lead for good with 1:14 remaining. Shea Arnick contributed 13 points and 8 rebounds to the cause. The Colonels win their regular season finale 77-74. They take 10 of their last 12 games, in fact. Stiles became the first player in Lady Lion history with 1,000 points and 500 assists in a career. Nichols, meanwhile, finishing up with a school record 13 Southland wins. So here were the Southland women's basketball standings at the end of the regular season. The Colonels finished in 3rd place, just a game behind Lamar. That gave Nichols a bye in the first round of the Southland tournament. Stephen F. Austin and Corpus Christi also finished up strong. Houston Baptist won a tiebreaker with New Orleans to claim the 8th and final spot in the league tourney. So the Colonels headed to their 4th consecutive Southland tournament with their highest ever seeding, number 3. They'd get a first-round bye before taking on the winner of the matchup between Northwestern State and Central Arkansas. It would be the defending champion Lady Demons advancing. They bounced Nichols from the tourney last year. Nichols had crushed them, though, in Thibodaux earlier this season, holding NSU to 40 points. Out to the Merrill Center in Katy, Texas for Friday's meeting. NSU came out on fire, hitting their first 7 shots. Keisha Lee drilling the 3 to put the Lady Demons up 7. Lee scored 15 points. Nichols works their way back in it. Charles hits the bonus ball. Nichols with 14 threes in their previous 2 postseason wins. They were 10 of 32 beyond the arc in this one. Veronica Ryan provided a little spark off the bench. A pair of hits from downtown. This one brought the Colonels within 2 at the 12-minute mark. Janelle Perez, All-Southland first-teamer, killed Nichols in this one. 24 points. That long-distance shot put NSU back up 6 with 11 minutes left in the half. Jenny Nash led the Colonels with 18 points and 7 boards. She breaks a single-season record for threes on that one. Nichols rallying to tie it, but NSU goes on a 7-1 run to end the half. Another 3 for Perez. Nichols down 7 at the break. Redding Gray would have to chip away again. Akaya Gray with a paint jumper to make it a 5-point affair early in the second half. A near double-double for Gray, 9 points, 8 boards. But the Lady Demons scored 10 of the next 12. Beatrice Atura with a baseline drive and layup. Atura scored a dozen off the bench, and it just snowballed from there. Chelsea Rogers hit 4 threes on the day in a 16-point performance. This one stretches the Nichols deficit to 18. Marina Lilly got into double figures with this bucket here, but the Colonels fall, and fall hard, 84-67. Nichols committed only 10 turnovers, well below their season average, but the shots just didn't fall. The Colonels had been in the top 10 in the nation in steals, averaging about 12 a game. They only had 3 in this one. Northwestern State, to their credit, would go on to win their 2nd consecutive Southland Tournament title. The Colonels finished up the year 17-13. Their 17 wins tying For the second most in a single season in program history, Nichols also extended its program records with 3 consecutive winning seasons and 4 straight postseason appearances. Still, this club had championship aspirations, and for head coach Doobie Plaisance, the early exit from Katy was a tough pill to swallow.
Well, the fact that it's over is incredibly disappointing for my players. You know, great kids. We had a great run. Certainly isn't the outcome or the expectations that we look forwarded to, but at the end of the day, you know, they left their effort. I mean, they gave a great effort, and they left it all out on the court, and I guess that's all you can ask for. You know, there's always a big picture, and what I told them immediately after I exit from the tournament was there's a great lesson to be learned in this. We just have to figure it out, and, you know, I challenge them to keep their heads up and keep doing, I guess, the intangibles that got us to this point. You know, they did have a great season, and I don't want them to lose sight of that, but it's so hard after, you know, a loss that we really felt very strongly about. We should have had that game.
Even so, with everything you had to overcome this year, 17 wins, 13 in conference, which is a new program record, you got to feel like you accomplished some things this year.
We did, and always going to look at the glass half full, and when you have to go back and reflect on it, those are the things we're going to reflect on. But I also want them, you know, to learn the lesson in this. And, you know, we have a good core coming back. We're losing a tremendous amount of leadership, and with our 4 seniors, Saleda, Jean-Marie, Shea, and Jenny. But, you know, that's going to be a hole we have to fill. And but that being said, we've got a good, strong core of freshmen coming in. A lot of skill sets there. It's going to be another exciting season. It's just, it's at this point, it's so overwhelming. Like, we have to start all over again. Here we go. And again, trying to reach that pinnacle in the Southland Conference. And we will. We're going to get there. And I tell everybody, Mike, I didn't come here to hold a position or even win ball games. I came here to win championships. So got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to get there again next year.
What are your thoughts on getting over that hump? Because now you're a consistent postseason appearance team. You're there just about every year now. What's that next step? Or what does it take to get there?
Well, we need to get out the quarterfinals. So maybe the first initial step is let's win the regular season, and then we're at least in the semis. But that being said, it's going to be about, I guess, our maturity going into the tournament. Not that I felt like we were immature going into the tournament, but it's such a mindset. It's mental. We missed shots in that game that we haven't missed all year, and I know for a fact it wasn't on purpose. Where were we mentally? And there were some facets of the game throughout the year that sometime we allow get to us that determined outcomes of previous games that maybe could have put us in that double bye situation. So there's a lot of things that we can grow from and reflect on, and very tangible things that I feel very strongly that the returning players are going to look and not let it happen again.
Coach, when your current seniors were freshmen here, this was a completely different program. It has made tremendous strides. I know you'll keep it going in a positive direction. Thanks for all your time this year.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you.
Head coach Doobie Plaisance to Southland's co-coach of the year this season, and deservedly so. We'll be back with more Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, right after this. Back here with you, wrapping up this season on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Now, the Colonel men's basketball team had to deal with the inconveniences of going without a locker room and coaches' offices this year, but it seems like the trouble was well worth it in the end. Joanna Ducree takes us on a tour of the program's new digs.
Nicholls State University has completed extensive renovations in Stopher Gym after being under construction for almost a year. This 45-year-old arena is the home of the Colonel men's basketball team, and this job will kickstart a facilities enhancement project in the department for the next few years.
The men's basketball program had been in offices that were created back in 1968, woefully inadequate to meet the needs of the Division I basketball program. So through the efforts of some private donations that were contributed to the university, approximately $200,000 from outside sources, coupled with some funding that Senator Norby Chabert was responsible for getting from the state, about $330,000. We had enough at $530,000 to do this complete renovation.
Besides a brand new private entrance for the players and coaches, the renovations include an expanded training room, men's basketball locker room, meeting rooms, players' lounge, men's basketball coaches' offices, and referee locker rooms.
A new training room over here, essentially tripling the size of the training room here, that will not only meet the needs of the men's basketball program, but the women's basketball program, volleyball, and several other of the women's sports here. All will now be able to be handled through the new training room over here. We've also constructed, took an old classroom and renovated it into a locker room for visiting basketball teams.
Stopher will also feature a new 27-foot video board on the quad side entrance of the gym, and the renovated lounge area will have televisions and audio equipment available for visitors.
It's very nice. You know, it's a completely 100% turnaround in what we used to. I mean, when I first came here, I mean, you know how it looked. It was run down and all, but now, you know, we have nice lockers, nice bathrooms, and everything's renovated. I'm really glad that we got this. You know, it came at the end of the season, but we'd rather have it now than, you know, any other time.
What this also does is create a space that will be impressive for recruits and their family when they come here, and it'll help us to recruit better athletes here and greatly improve this program. So we're certainly grateful to the donors who provided funds for this renovation.
This renovation of Stopher Gym is the continuation of many projects for Nicholls Athletics, including a newly refurbished football locker room. Next on the list is a baseball press box, which is set for construction during the summer. For Colonel Basketball Weekly, I'm Joanna Ducree.
Thank you so much, Joanna. Well, let's step away from hoops for just a second here. The Colonel baseball team is still the only team in the country to defeat number 1 LSU. Right now, though, their focus is on a Southland Conference title. With an update, here's Beatrice Beard.
The Nicholls baseball team started the season red hot. After taking the first series of conference play at Abilene Christian, the squad returned to Ray E. Didier Field to face one of the league's top contenders.
The club hosted Texas A&M Corpus Christi in a 3-game set this past weekend. The Islanders came in with an 8-5 mark and were opening up the Southland portion of their schedule. Bad weather forced a doubleheader on Saturday. Game 1 was a pitching duel through 5 innings with Colonel righty Mark Frazier striking out 6. But the Islanders busted it open and Nicholls couldn't get the bats going in a 7-0 loss. The momentum from the first game would be an advantage for the Islanders. The Red and Gray struggled all day to get the offense going, registering only 2 hits in the nightcap. The Colonels would fall 4-0. Corpus Christi was picked to finish second in the Southland Conference, and facing them early on in the season might be the thing that helps this young squad come together.
We've got to be playing our best baseball right now anyway, so the speed of our game matters. You know, fighting against the top teams in the league is important. We got to make sure we continue to get better every time out. Just getting back out there is important, but these guys need ABs, they need game time. Our pitchers need game time. We're still working at chemistry right here, but it is coming, and I'm excited to see that.
The Colonels would come out swinging in Sunday's finale. They jumped to a first-inning lead after a Kyle Reese double scored Justin Holt. Right-hander Justin Simbaldi pitched 7 scoreless innings for Nicholls, fanning 6. The Islanders battled back late, but a walk-off bunt single by Alex Shermer won it for the Colonels. The squad hadn't played a game in a week due to the rain in Thibodaux. While it may have taken a toll on the Colonels, it wouldn't be enough to keep them down for long.
The speed of the game gets away from you when you stay away from it for 7 days. And there was a lot of indoor stuff this week, a lot of stuff off the field this week, and so that was a little frustrating. And it took us a little bit to get going, and, you know, it set us back. But you know, it is what it is. Our club's going to bounce back from the tough day yesterday, and with a big win like this, you have no idea what that can do for your club.
That was Beatrice Beard reporting. Folks, just because hoops is over doesn't mean our coverage stops. Baseball season in full swing. The Colonels visit Southland preseason favorite Sam Houston State this weekend. Friday and Saturday's games can be heard on KTIB 640 AM. Sunday's finale with the Bearcats airs on KNSU 91.5 FM. You can follow us all season long on our social media outlets, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. We'll be back to wrap things up here on Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, right after this.
In sports, you strive for first or best. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional is both. The region's first comprehensive sports medicine program with a team of the best sports medicine trained experts. You're serious about the game, we're serious about your safety. With advanced concussion testing technology and certified athletic trainers, we're keeping athletes safely in the game. Play hard, play to win. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional will help you play it safe.
Donnie, I'm in Rouse's at least 3 times a week, and I want the best prices every day.
Come on, Chef. Let's go shopping.
All right. There's got to be at least 1,000 items just on this one aisle.
At Rouse's, we stock more groceries than anyone else.
I can see that. So what's with the tag? Best price every day.
It's the Rouse's guarantee. You're getting our lowest price every day.
So when I see this tag,
you know you don't have to wait for a sale.
I can shop any day
and get our best price every day. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not.
Well, we're all about the people that we care for.
At People's Health, we know that when it comes to health, what works is teamwork. Each People's Health Plan member has a team of talented professionals working together to coordinate care so our members can do what they love to do.
That's what we do. We're here for you with People's Health.
People's Health, your Medicare health team.
Wrapping up Colonel Basketball Weekly, presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional. Time to announce our Rouse's Student Athlete of the Week. You're either local or you're not. Louisiana's best can be found at your local Rouse's or at rouses.com. This week it's Stephanie Barnett from women's tennis. The sophomore from Australia picked up 4 love wins over Lamar and Sam Houston State. Women's tennis off to a 3-0 start in Southland play. That's going to do it. We'll talk to you again next week on the Seth Thibodaux Show. Today's show has been presented by the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, the official sports medicine provider of Nichols Athletics. This program has also been sponsored by Rouse's Supermarkets. You're either local or you're not. And People's Health, your Medicare health team. This has been a presentation of the Colonel Sports Network.